What do I know? I'm just a girl on the internet. The day that the audio form of this episode goes live is Monday, December 11th, which is also my birthday, my 28th birthday. I have an episode already on my podcast called Hot Girls Cry on Their Birthday. That should tell you a little bit about how I feel about birthdays. But also the other thing I think about every time it's my birthday or anybody else's, or just birthdays in general, it really takes me back to my days in the service industry when I was a waitress for many, many years of my life. And I worked at a restaurant that wasn't like a chain commercial restaurant, like an Applebee's, an Outback, a Chili's, anything like that. I worked at a restaurant that was privately owned. It was like one of a kind sort of thing. So we didn't have like a chain birthday song, like when you go to places like Outback or Applebee's and they have like birthday songs that are related to the franchise. We didn't even really sing on birthdays. That was never a thing. We were never trained to do that. It was not part of our job. But every so often, you would have a table tell you it was their birthday and they would request that we sing to them. As someone who worked in a restaurant where singing on a birthday wasn't required, I can only imagine the pain and suffering of those servers in the industry who have to sing to guests on their birthdays. That has got to be absolutely terrible. And for anyone that has ever had to partake in that, I'm so sorry. I don't know why people enjoy that on their birthdays. I want to say if I go out somewhere, I like to tell people I don't mention that it's my birthday. I don't want to be sung to in public loudly. And I certainly feel terrible for the people that are having to do the singing. So for the handful of times that I had to sing to guests on their birthday, it is true PTSD. So to all the servers out there, props to you for having to sing to people on their birthdays. I truly feel for you. Welcome back to another episode of Girl on the Internet podcast. Hello, hi, I am your host, Kayla. And the day that you're watching this, like I said, is my birthday. So it only feels right to do a birthday themed episode where I share with you 28 life lessons I have learned by the time I turn 28. There's got to be some psychological phenomenon that happens when you start saying your age out loud and it doesn't feel like you're saying the right age. The other day I was actually checking out at TJ Maxx and I was talking to the girl that was behind the counter and I was checking out with one of my items. She's like, "Oh, that's so cute, but sometimes I feel like that's too mature for me." And I was like, "Too mature?" I was like, "How old are you?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm 24." And I was literally about to say me too. Nope. Not you too. No, girl, not me. I don't know. I don't know if this is something that's going to happen for the rest of my life. Like when I turn 40, am I still going to feel like I'm 20 something? Does that ever stop? I think I've mentioned it before where 20 felt different and 21 felt different, but everything since then has felt the same. So I don't know. More to come. I'll give you some updates. Before I get into the episode, today's non-sponsored beverage is an iced oat milk latte, homemade by yours truly. I use the Malk brand, M-A-L-K, the oat milk version of the oat milk. Is that a hair in my straw? Or is it a crack? Is it a hair? No. Is that a hair? Mm-hmm. There was a hair in my straw. How? The good news is I live alone. I made this coffee. It's my hair. So moving on. Malk brand, oat milk, nut pods, cookie butter flavor, Nespresso pod. Cheers. A few years ago on my 25th birthday, I did a 25 things I learned by 25 video. It's still up on my YouTube channel if anybody wants to check that out. It was super fun and meaningful for me to film that video. I did like a super cool cinematic little experience. I genuinely love having that as a memory. It's super cute and I really, really love all the little video clips that are included in it. And I don't know if any of these overlap. I have not watched that video, I think, since it went public on my YouTube channel. So if any of these are duplicates, sorry, but also maybe that means they are actually really good, useful life lessons. So in no particular order, in no particular order, here are 28 life lessons that I've learned by 28. Some are cliche, some are cheesy, some you've probably heard before, but this is a list I've been working on and I feel very, very sure of the things that I wrote on here. So without further ado, let's get into it. Life lesson number 1 is that life has no timeline. This is something I've talked about on my podcast a million times. You can do essentially anything you want in life at any age. You do not have to be married at a certain age. You do not have to go to college at a certain age. You do not have to find the career of your dreams at a certain time. Age is just a number for most things. If you want to achieve something at any point in your life, you can. No two timelines are the same. Do whatever you want, whenever you want. Number 2 is that health is wealth. Very cheesy, very cliche. I've spent the last 5 years of my life working in healthcare. I work in a trauma hospital, so I see quite literally the worst of the worst when it comes to injuries, accidents, illnesses. No, I'm not a nurse. No, I'm not in the emergency department, but doing physical therapy with these people who get in just horrendous car accidents. They get gunshot wounds, spinal cord injuries, strokes. In those 5 years alone, I've reflected so much on my own life, my own health and well-being, the well-being of my family and my friends. I am grateful for it every single day. There is truly nothing more valuable in this lifetime than your health. Taking care of yourself, being healthy for whatever that means to you is so, so important. Definitely don't put yourself on the back burner when it comes to health and taking care of yourself, and also trying to make good decisions. We can't avoid freak accidents if or when they happen to people, but if you can think about something that you're going to do, for example, if you're drunk, do not get behind the wheel of a car. If you've never done a backflip, don't let it be your first time on solid ground or a trampoline. Don't do stupid things. Your health, your body, take care of it. Along the same lines as lesson number 2, lesson number 3 is calling people and telling them that you love them or that you're grateful that they are in your life. Again, working in a hospital, I see people who don't get to say goodbye to loved ones, who it's too late or they can't understand, or for whatever the reason. We know that people aren't around forever. We don't know when anybody's last day is going to be. So just shooting a text to your parents, calling your friends, letting them know that you love them and you're grateful for them goes a long way. Number 4, speaking up doesn't make you a bitch. You're allowed to have your own thoughts and opinions. You're allowed to stand up for yourself. You're allowed to speak your mind and you're allowed to give your opinion. And not everybody's going to like it, and that's okay. Number 5, take care of your brain, your mental health, your brain, the well-being of your brain. So, so important, so valuable. If that means going to your doctor, deciding to get on medication to help you with anxiety, depression, anything like that, going to therapy, taking time for yourself, self-care, it's going to be really hard to navigate life if you don't take care of yourself in terms of mental well-being, your psychological needs, your anxiety, your moods, your behaviors. So take care of your brain. Number 6 is deciding if the thing that you are dealing with is worth your energy, your anger, holding a grudge, being stressed about, because chances are that thing is not going to matter. If you're in the middle of a really stupid argument with a friend, with a family member, if you're pissed off about something that happened at work, ask yourself if that's going to matter in 24 hours, in 48 hours, in 7 days. Is it worth using up all of your energy to be mad, upset, frustrated about? How important is this subject at hand? Is it worth holding a grudge about? Is it worth beating a dead horse? Is it worth complaining to everybody in your life for the next 2 weeks about? Probably not. It's important to ask yourself too, is it in your control? Chances are, if you're frustrated and mad about it and it's not in your control, then you gotta let it go. It's not worth holding on to these little petty things that literally don't matter when there are way bigger issues in the world and there are bigger problems at hand. It's not worth it for the little, small, petty, mundane things in life. Lesson number 7 is don't give energy to people who suck. Do not give them your time, your energy, anything. People that just suck the life out of you, who are condescending, mean, awful, negative people to be around, do not give them your energy. They are not worth the time. They're not worth the headache. It's just overall not worth it. You're going to be so much better not having them in your life or not letting them get to you. Don't put energy into an argument that's pointless. Don't give your energy into somebody who's not going to listen to you, who's like talking to a brick wall. Do not allow them to take your energy, your good vibrations, anything like that. It's not helpful. It's not productive. It's not something that you want to have in your life. Lesson number 8 is be smart with your expenses and thinking about your future. I would never sit here and say, don't waste your money on things. Don't buy things that make you happy. Save every single penny for your future, because let's face it, again, no one knows if we even get promised tomorrow. But I do think it is smart to save and invest for your future. Think about reaching out to someone that knows a lot about finances or going to your bank and talking and having conversations. A lot of the times, like your 401k that you have at work is sometimes not enough. It's not going to be enough financial stability for the point where you retire. Thinking about getting something like a Roth IRA or something that is functional for you and the life that you have right now. Setting aside some kind of money for any emergency situation, for, getting yourself out of a sticky situation, if your car gets towed, if you need like extra money fast, make sure you have that set aside. But also think about saving and investing money for your future, so the day that you retire, you're not just like living paycheck to paycheck and you actually have some means to get by. Number 9 is that almost everything in life is a life lesson. Whether we want it to be or not, I feel like majority of the things that happen to us on a daily or weekly basis can be something to learn from. It can be a life lesson. For example, the car accident that I got into back in September, again, I've mentioned it. I was fine. It was fine. It was a very, very, very minor accident, which I'm grateful for. But even from that, I've learned so much about dealing with insurance companies and policies and rental car services and things about my own car. Like, I have learned so much from that experience alone. Had I not gotten in that accident, I actually wouldn't have learned anything from. Another life lesson I learned from that situation is that not everybody's going to be cooperative or compliant, and they're not going to be helpful for you in a situation like that. Whether you want to admit it or not, life is always teaching us lessons, and it's up to us if we decide to absorb the information, learn from the mistakes, or accept it as a life lesson or something that we can take in and apply somewhere else in life and move on. Life lesson number 10 is you're not that special and nobody cares that much about you. This is probably one of my favorite life lessons, and this is something that I've learned in my adult life more so than not, especially with creating a YouTube channel, having a podcast, oversharing my life on the internet. People aren't thinking about you that much. You're not Taylor Swift, you're not Beyonce, you're not the president. People are not thinking about you on a daily basis. They're not like laying in bed at night and being like, remember that stupid thing that Kayla said yesterday? God, what an idiot. People are not looking at you that closely. They're not putting you under a microscope. It might feel that way sometimes. It might feel like people are talking about you or doing this or doing that or whatever, but they're not. I can guarantee you that they're not, even if it feels like it. People have their own lives and their own issues and themselves to worry about. They're not worrying about you and the decisions that you make, the clothes that you wear, what your body looks like. They don't care. Life lesson number 11 is that your life is going to look different than somebody else's. Do not compare your life to anybody else. They have a different family, different financial situation, different job, different hobbies, different friends, different situations going on. No two lives are going to look the same. And remembering that the things that you see online are people's highlight reels. You can't compare your life to your best friend or someone in your life that just got married and have kids and have a house and have this and that, and you're just solo living in an apartment somewhere. Do not compare your life. It's not worth it. Comparison is the thief of joy. It's pointless. It is pointless to compare your life to somebody else's. Number 12 is that life is not fair and you are not immune to anything. Again, this is something I relate a lot to the job that I have, working in healthcare, physical therapy, trauma specifically. Life is not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care whatever scenario you put yourself in, whether you believe in God, the universe, something greater. Life's not fair. It doesn't matter who you are, what your celebrity status is, how much money you have, who your parents are, who your friends are. Life is not fair. Life is not here to coddle you and cradle you and make sure things go perfectly. Something terrible or something great can happen at literally any point ever. We're not immune to anything, to death, to illness, to cancer, to losing our houses, our money, our cars. You're not immune to anything just because you think you have one good foot in front of the other. Life can change in the blink of an eye. Life isn't fair. It's not designed to be fair. Anything can happen at any point, so don't take anything for granted. Number 13 is you should totally heal your inner child. For whatever that means, whatever kind of childhood you grew up with whatever you feel like you are missing from your childhood, or any activities or hobbies or things that you love that you got to miss out on as a kid, or maybe you feel like you didn't get to experience. Totally worth it to heal your inner child. Do fun things, go sit on a set of swings at the park and just take time for yourself, read your favorite books from childhood, buy a Barbie doll if that's what makes you happy. Find peace with healing your inner child, speaking to your inner child, and allowing your inner child to be a part of your adult life. Also, bonus life lesson is being nice and kind to yourself, because your inner child is still a part of you and you would want to make them proud. So just be nice to yourself. Life lesson number 14, it is okay to splurge on simple pleasures in life. Don't let any adult over the age of 45 tell you not to spend the $5 on a coffee at a coffee shop. That is not going to inherently make you broke or poor or break the bank or not be able to afford a house someday. If you want to buy a cute top from Target, buy a cute top from Target. If you want to get your nails done once a month, get your nails done. If you want to go to the store and buy mini brands, which are the little mini brands of food and snacks and things, and you want to make mini magnets on your fridge, you can do that. Life is all about the small, simple pleasures. Do not deprive yourself of the coffee, of the little snack, the little bowl of ice cream, the cute little thing from the Target dollar section. It's okay to buy those fun little things. You can't save every penny that you have. Trust me. 15, it's never a bad idea to be kind. This is not for the instances when you have a creepy guy approaching you at the gas station trying to flirt with you or say something very derogatory or asking you for money. In that case, it's okay to be mean. But in other cases, it's totally worth it to be kind. Open a door for a stranger, smile at a stranger, having small talk with the cashier at the grocery store. Life is hard. Everybody's going through something or is dealing with something. Just be nice to people. It literally costs $0. Number 16 is to never stop learning. Whether you are catching up on books, if you're going back to school, if you're reading things, heck, if you're reading things on TikTok, at least you're learning something. It's also not a bad idea to learn things from strangers. You can learn like street smarts and life lessons from people that are older than you, your elders, people that you pass on the street, people that you're waiting in line with at the grocery store. Whatever it is, to just learn something from somebody else, or learn something about maybe a job career that you didn't take, or something else that's valuable in life. Take that opportunity, ask questions, and learn about it. Life lesson number 17 is don't let people take advantage of you. This is pretty much applicable to any area in life. Friendships, relationships, your parents, your boss, literally anybody. Don't be a pushover. Don't let people take advantage of you. Stand up for yourself and speak up. Life lesson number 18 is that stupid thing that you said back when you were 16 probably isn't going to matter in 10 years. The way I wish I could tell my younger self to stop worrying so much about the things I am afraid to say, or tiptoeing around people because I'm afraid of what they're going to think about me or what they're going to say or if it's going to matter. Chances are that it's not, and it's totally fine to speak your mind, and it's not worth thinking and getting hung up on something that you said one time nearly 10 years ago. No one cares or remembers. Life lesson number 19, arguably the most important. Look at me. Come here. Everybody is winging it. Literally everybody. Life doesn't come with instruction manuals. Life doesn't tell you the perfect way to have a job, the perfect way to buy a house, how to perfectly raise your children, how to be in a perfect relationship. Everybody is winging it. That's why everybody lives a completely different life. That's why no two people are living the exact same linear path or life. Everyone's just winging it. We're all just figuring things out as we go. This is the first and only time we get to be humans on this planet. Everything is trial and error. Everyone's winging it. Even your parents, even if they think, even the most well put together people in life are still winging it and don't have it entirely figured out. So don't be afraid if you don't. Number 20 is that your job is not your only personality trait. If something were to happen at your job, you died, you got sick, you are replaceable. Doesn't mean your job doesn't appreciate you, but you're replaceable. So don't make your job your entire life. Don't put it above your family, above your friends, above opportunities. It can wait. It's okay. Your job is not the most important thing in your entire life. Arguably, it's very important, but it's not worth coming home and crying every night, stressing, missing birthdays, missing holidays, missing weekends. Life and you are so much more than your job, than your occupation, than the credentials that you have when you sign your little email signature at the end of an email. Number 21 is that change is inevitable and you have time to figure out how you adapt to change. It's not always easy to go with the flow. Change is scary. It's unpredictable. It's not what we want a lot of the time, but it's inevitable. Things are going to happen. It's up to you to learn how you deal with change and how you deal with moving parts in life. And I think the older you get the opportunity to deal with change a lot quicker than you did when you were younger. Change isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's going to happen. You got to learn to deal with it. Number 22 is that you can't slow down time. If this isn't your first time listening to my podcast, then you knew I was going to mention something about time. This, of course, goes without saying, but time is not slowing down. You can't pause it. You can't stop it. You can't go in the past and change anything. So being able to take every opportunity for what it is, value every single moment that you have, and just absorb the time that you get to have with people and opportunities and things in your life, because you don't get those moments back. And time just is going to continue to feel like it's going by quicker and quicker, and you can't slow it down. So just embrace every moment for what it's worth and as you're able. Life lesson 23 is to stop wasting so much of your life hating your body, how you look, and what you look like, because you might end up spending your entire life chasing different fad diets, different body styles, different trends of what bodies look like. There'll never be an ideal perfect body. You're not going to be able to please everybody. You have to be appreciative of what your body can do for you in this moment, in terms of my heart is beating, my brain is thinking, my lungs are breathing for me. I have the opportunity to get around, to do things for myself. Being grateful for things like that and less worried about, oh my gosh, I have body hair. Oh my gosh, I have a fat roll. Oh my gosh, I have a pimple on my face. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy, and it's pointless. Life lesson number 24 is take your dang vitamins. Okay? You're getting a little bit older. As you get older, you're going to be a little bit deficient in certain things, vitamin D, magnesium, B12. Of course, talk to your doctor first, see what's appropriate, but take your vitamins. You need all those different things to make your body feel good, to feel better about yourself, and keep you going. Take your vitamins. Number 25 is don't let people make you feel stupid or belittled. If you're excited about something, if you're passionate about something, if you are emotional about something, don't let anybody make you feel stupid, dumb, unworthy. Don't let people make fun of you. The amount of times I was picked on and teased when I was younger for loving Taylor Swift, I wish I would have stood up for myself a lot more and had not taken it to heart so much. I wish I would have embraced the fact that I loved her, and then now at 28, she's arguably the biggest artist in the world. I wish I wouldn't have let people make me feel stupid for liking her. Number 26 is that life is precious. I know I've said things about life happens fast, life is unfair, but life is truly precious. It's such a valuable thing that we get to have, and there is some weird, strange, higher power reason for every single one of us being here. Make sure you embrace it, take care of yourself, and just remember that life is very, very precious, and there's a very special reason that you're here. Number 27 is flossing your teeth and taking care of your dental hygiene. The amount of times I wish I knew that your mouth and your oral hygiene are arguably one of the most important things about your body, right? People tell you drink water, exercise, eat well, Taking care of your teeth is so, so important. Did you know that your teeth are connected to so many nerves and like nerve ends in your mouth that connect to your brain? So if you're not taking care of your teeth, your dental hygiene, you're not brushing and flossing and getting regular checkups, it can lead to so many diseases and different issues later in life just because of poor dentation. Very crazy. It's not something they teach you in school. They're all about cardiovascular health and this and that, but no one's sitting here and telling you, like, make sure you're flossing. Invest in a good little floss kit, floss, tongue scrape, mouthwash, my shiny teeth and me. Just take care of your teeth. I promise. As I mentioned, these were in no particular order. So for the final 28 life lessons I've learned by 28 is number 28, and that is don't ignore red flags. Red flags can be applied anywhere in life, in job interviews, on first dates, in friends, in family. Don't ignore them. If they're there, if you see them, if they're consistent, they're not going away. A red flag is a red flag. It doesn't matter what kind of rose-colored glasses you're wearing. They're still red at the end of the day, and it's worth acknowledging, and it's worth something you should not ignore. We've arrived at the end of the episode, which means I'm sharing with you a random fun fact, and today's little twist is a random fun fact about the date December 11th. Did you know that on December 11th, 1913, the Mona Lisa painting was recovered after nearly 2 years of when it was stolen from the Louvre Museum? Thank you for tuning in to another week's episode of Girl on the Internet podcast. I'm so grateful that you're here. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day or week, and shout out to anybody else out there who is a December 11th Sagittarius baby. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.